moderate, but so it's kind of weird to be sitting here. But so we'll keep it simple because we're running a little late. So you're all here for an awesome panel. It should be really an interesting one. So with no more further ado, I will bring everybody on. First, we have Mr. Manu Bennett. Your shippers will find interesting. We have Mr. McIntyre and Ms. Lawless. Go from there. What are you guys thinking of DragonCon so far?
I just want to say
hurting yourself.
Lucy, please explain this because Lucy's actually had to get wheeled on me for a second because
she's just sick of walking, you know. She's used to being a domino.
This is the only way to get through traffic. No, I was running to an Adventure Time panel because I'm crazy about the show and I want to be cool with my kids, so I thought, you know, photograph them or something, and I just felt something snap in my calf running across the road, and there you go. So,
we have to get Medicus.
Annoying.
We have to get Medicus.
Totally missed the panel.
With his tools.
You made it!
I made it.
How good is DragonCon?
I just want to thank everybody from Atlanta, especially from this city, for having us here. I went down to the stadium the other night. When I first flew in, I jumped, you know, I arrived at the hotel and somebody told me the Falcons were playing. So I literally dropped my bags and ran down to the stadium and caught but unfortunately they lost to the Jaguars. Sorry guys, but yeah. But rise up, Atlanta.
Hi, Lucy Lawless. I was wondering, right here, I was wondering if you had a difficult time with all the nudity in Spartacus versus other.
No, I loved it. Yeah, no, it's a bit grim shooting those things. It's 0% sexy, and the trick is to make it look as if, you know, to play the scene and not be showing your terror. And we did all right, didn't we? We did. Yeah, Manu was the only one who truly was like volunteering. It's not true. He would volunteer and then he would go, what have I done? What have I done? It's like, yeah, baby, it's part of the scene. It's important.
It's true, but I got to say that working with Lucy was electric. As we start this off, I'll just get this out of the way right from the beginning. Season 1, our wonderful Spartacus Andy Whitfield. I'm sure that everybody here would probably like to hear something about Andy before we go on and talk about our journeys. We were very lucky to find somebody with heart, because it's not easy in this acting industry to find somebody with purity and a heart. Honestly, like it's the right look and the right age and all that sort of stuff, and we found it in Liam because Liam's got heart in spades. We saved our show, and at the time we really wanted someone to step into the role. Oh, you're sweet. He says that after the show is finished. Crixus, you're sweet.
while making the part for your own self?
Well, of course. I mean, I was extremely fortunate to have two incredible people for source material in Kirk Douglas and Andy Whitfield. I mean, where would you go for better performances of such an iconic character? You know, and it's I used to watch season 1, and it was very heartbreaking to realize that that was a situation I was going to be put into. But it also gave me a great honor and a great legacy to follow up. And what better way than to look at season 1 again and again and again, which you would anyway, and just go, that guy's a genius. And he brings, like I was saying, he brings such a heart and a passion to the character. You know, you want to beat him, you want to follow him. Ladies want to have sex with him. He's
Hangman.
There was that one thing. I was like, but yeah, you know, no, but God rest his soul, because I mean that guy was taken before his time. He was a genius, and I mean the challenge for me was not to try and copy something that was already, you know, flawless in my opinion, but to try and take the soul that he created of such a fantastic character and original, you know, bring some the bits I can from my life, from my experience, from my acting to it, and try and create something the same but new again, you know, and so you know, it's a little easier when you know you've got such a wonderful fan base to try and make proud, you know, and because I love the show and I didn't want to screw it up. So, well, I did my best. And look, the room's full, so I must have screwed up completely. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your question.
All right, thank you guys for coming, first of all. I've always thought that it's not how a character is introduced, but it's how they go out that really makes you remember them, their legacy. So,
Spoiler alert.
diving off a cliff with an infant. Lucy, how did that come about, and how did you feel about that whole scene?
Well, I didn't know this. I must have known this. I was the only one who knew that that's what she was going to do with Olivia from the very beginning. Once they brought Lucretia back, and I'm one hell of a good at keeping secrets, because Viva and I would be on the set together every day, good buddies, hang out on the weekends. We were doing some B-roll even after we had filmed that. And she and Stephen were saying, yeah, I think Lucretia, you know, when they're in the bath and they'd talk, they've got some communion going on because she's in a bad way, she's in a bad way, and they're really shoring one another up. And I think Lucretia really, really cares for Olivia. And I was like, no, she doesn't. It's like, you're just the incubator. This is when we're watching. When Lucretia lost Batiatus, love was over for her. And the only thing left was her to survive long enough to get her child to take to her husband. That was the mission. Life was always to provide a son, and eventually she did. Terrible.
Oh, yes. Other than.
One shout out to Lucy Lawless. You were Xena. You were one of the first sci-fi fantasy shows I've ever watched in my whole life. Okay, and my question is for Liam and Manu. Can you tell me what kind of rigorous exercise program, obviously, from your muscles?
Did you say sexercise?
They contact sexing, right?
No, exercise.
Gladiator booty camp.
Oh, the booty camp?
No, look, something about the ultimate workout. Wasn't it on Twitter? There's a new Spartacus, the hardest workout ever, or some sort of...
That's Tyrone. That's Tyrone. He's totally milking it. Tyrone was like a stunt double, and then he became like the trainer of everybody. He's been out there shopping the Spartacus workout, only because it's very popular and people want to find out what we did do. I think the show might have actually changed the gym culture to some degree, because I think before Spartacus came on, the gym was all about being massive, you know what I mean? And then suddenly, like Spartacus came on, and these gladiators were more lean and fast moving and getting around, and all of a sudden all that CrossFit stuff started emerging as well. And I think, you know, if you go to any city, there's a gym that's got a Spartacus regime or a Ludus or something, you know. So it's pretty amazing how it kicked off its own fitness genre.
But in summary, the workouts are horrible. If you like, you know, not being in constant pain, if you like, you know, not sleeping in the middle of the day, well, that's actually pretty good. If you like things that aren't just boiled chicken, don't do them. But if you want to look like Manu Bennett, then unfortunately you have to do them. But the results are pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, but we had a great time, you know. I mean, our fitness regime was on set and off set all the time, so we were lucky to be doing a job that was like an athletic program as well, you know.
How good was the boot camp, though, really, as far as like team building and constructing a unit?
Yeah, and the girls showed up, you know, but to be honest, Ellen Holman, who played Sansa, right?
Yeah.
We did a fitness test that was based upon body weight, and she won. You know, dragging weights behind her and everything like that, she kicked our asses.
We weren't going to tell that story.
Hey guys, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming to Atlanta.
Hey, Spider-Man.
Hey, one question. As you know, a lot of us dress up in a costume. If you guys could dress up as a superhero or whoever, what would you dress up as?
Lumpy Space Princess. Oh my God! I'm sorry for you guys.
My hero, Gannicus.
I don't think I'd fit into Zach Brannigan's velour. So, either Batman or Wolverine.
Always say that.
Liam is truly a nerd. He's seriously into all the video games and thinks he's the real deal.
Last of Us, Assassin's Creed 3, what's up?
He plays Xbox, you know, where it's just like this, you know, like at San Diego
It's
Comic
obviously not like that.
That was the wrong spot of the thumb, wasn't it? In San Diego Comic Con, they launched the Spartacus game, and I got put up against him in front of the whole crowd, and Crixus got his ass kicked.
I know you're pretty nerdy, Liam. Can you give Manu a chance? Not really. Let's make him kill it. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I'm sorry. You're actually very good. You had a professional video gaming career. You thought about that?
Hey, it wasn't the real arena.
I know. That's the thing. In the real arena, maybe not so much. This guy, the real arena. Jesus.
Did any of you know that much about that period of time before you started the show?
You know, we're talking about me being a nerd. Yes.
That time of Roman history, before you actually, how did you do the show?
Oh yeah, I was crazy about my Claudius. As a kid, it would be on really late, and it was pretty wild. So I would stay up late when my parents weren't watching and watch Sian Phillips, who was very informative about the character of Lucretia. Actually, I'm sure that really informed me. And she played the wicked Livia, grandmother to Claudius, who very cool and despicable character.
Yeah, I couldn't find a lot of information on Crixus other than that he was a Gaul. So at the very beginning of the first season, I was trying to dig stuff up, trying to find ways to relate to this man. And trust me, I mean, I felt very responsible for portraying a man's life, you know, who went through all of that. You know, sometimes you don't really focus on that point, but Crixus was a man who had to fight with his, you know, and shed his blood for this cause. So, I really thought I had to honor him. But in the early days, I got together with the costume designers, and I found out that the symbol for death, the harbinger of death, for the Gauls was the crow. So the necklace that I wore, we made especially because it's got 2 crow heads coming together in the middle here. And that was the idea that Crixus was the harbinger of death and the Gaul kind of figure.
Yeah. Well, that's part of why I was so glad that I got to open War of the Damned on a horse, because the Thracian god was essentially the horseman. So that's like Spartacus coming in trying to do impossible things. So if you look in Spartacus through all of the...
I thought that was a homage to Peter Mensa.
Jesus, built like a... Oh, see, I'm so naive. I didn't see that scene. No, carry on. No, that's okay. I don't know whose god that is, though. That's different. If you have a look through, like the crew, like Barbara in costume especially, and all throughout the show, you'll find a lot of little moments of symbology and symbolism and that sort of thing that is extremely true to the time and true to the character that Dustin has a lot of Celtic. His tattoo is it's from Iceland. I completely forgot what it means. Good word, me. But yeah, there's so much symbolism throughout the show in little ways that is extremely well researched, and for a show that a lot of people dismiss as like, cotton candy sometimes, especially early on, which was so unfair. I feel that people took like a really limited view, and then you sort of dig a little deeper into it. This is actually really, really important. Being a guy that can like